Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this week's episode of the Married to Stupid Podcast. I am your favorite hostess with the mostest, Jacob.
That's rude.
And this is Stupid Kristen. Wait,
Not nice.
Married
Not
to
nice.
Stupid Kristen. Stupid Kristen.
Anyway, first things first. I'm going to need you to be real careful of my nails during this.
Yeah, you're trying to poison me.
No, it's just when I'm not good at painting my nails because I'm not good at like sitting still until they're dry. So I literally just painted them as you saw.
Yeah, my head hurts.
It's not that bad.
It hurts.
And I figured since we're going to be recording, I'll be sitting still. But already I have jammed my pinky fingers on things and you nearly brushed them with your sleeve.
And you're going to be typing and other things.
Not really. I'm just scrolling.
Oh, man.
So it'll be fine, hopefully. And also, I wanted to point out to best friend Kyle. Last week, I was talking about his wife, Molly, on the podcast. And he had comments about Stanley here. And he kept calling it a 5-gallon water bucket. And it is not 5 gallons, best friend Kyle. And your jealousy is seeping out of you. So, Stan here.
I mean,
front and center.
So, I mean,
Don't defend best friend Kyle.
He's a hard worker. He probably has like an OG Stanley, like a thermos.
No, I don't think he does because he's a hard worker.
Yeah,
so every hard worker.
He's an electrician. Like that's one of those.
So he went to a vintage shop to find an original Stanley because he's an electrician.
No, I mean he's one of those.
Completes the look.
No, I'm just saying it's like a construction worker. It's like they already have.
Well, he was making fun of my water bottle.
Yeah,
and so it's front and center again this week just because of that.
Because you're like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool, I've got a Stanley.
No, you got me this. I didn't ask for it.
Yeah, but who put it front and center?
I did because of best friend Kyle.
Exactly.
So
other than that, how's your day going? Oh, you don't say.
Well, so our youngest Spawn has been ill.
He has.
And it's been going on since we got back from vacation. It's just like ebbed and flowed. And finally, we got him on some antibiotics, but he's been up coughing, and he's needed to be on my side of the bed next to the humidifier. And I haven't slept well. And I tried to take just an hour nap today. I set the alarm for 1 hour, 1 hour and 15 minutes. No, do you think that could happen? No, I could not take a sleep because I had children annoying me. I had our son was sending me Facebook messages from downstairs, like literally 16 of them.
He needed help with his schoolwork.
I understand that, but
hashtag homeschool life.
I told him that I would help him afterwards. So you know what he did? He stood in our bedroom after I said that. And I only know this because I farted and I heard a giggle. And I looked behind me and he was standing next to our bed. And he's like, I'm just waiting for you to wake up.
It's a little creepy.
And I just gave up and got up. And
hashtag homeschool life.
Yeah. I need a good night's sleep tonight, and then I think I'll have a better tomorrow.
Yeah. I need a good night's sleep too.
Okay. You should probably call Sleep Health, get on that appointment, and then you could have a good night's sleep.
Yeah, so I can have a mask and look just as hot as you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very attractive at night.
But, just continue calling the back doctor.
I didn't call anybody. I inquired on the internet.
Okay. Well,
and I have not gotten a response.
On the internet about your sleep study.
I may not.
You will.
We don't know.
Anyway, how are you today?
It's going. It's fantastic being back to work. Day like 2 or 3. 2 back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can tell this is really resonating with you. Yeah, it's a struggle of us working folk.
Mm-hmm. You slept a long time this morning.
I couldn't wake up. I'm telling you.
I thought it was still pretty early, and then when I looked at the clock, it was after 10. And you were still upstairs, not downstairs, doing work things. So
yeah, and the thing is, I had my alarm set for 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, you didn't get up at 8.
I didn't. I looked at it and I was like, I don't have meetings for a while. I'm going back to bed.
Right.
But I got up and I worked later.
What did you say?
I got up later and I worked.
Oh. Anyway, it sounded like you stumbled over your words, but that's not like you.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure not. Should we move on to the first segment?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Or did you have more?
No, I didn't really have any more, you know?
Okay. Okay. And I asked you not to look at my agenda
I haven't yet.
because you were trying to peek last week, and I purposely put
No, it wasn't.
Stan here. So
It's not even close to covering it up.
okay, well, don't look at it.
Okay.
So
Now it's time to sit back and relax and get ready for this randomness with Kristen's questions with a K word.
all right, so Kristen's questions. What would it feel like to experience time backwards? Like living from the end of your life to the beginning. Yeah. It's a toughie, huh?
Like, well,
How do you think that would go for you emotionally?
I don't know. I kind of feel that people with dementia already kind of experience this because
What?
they're slowly forgetting things
They're not
that they've already
babies.
No, but the ideas, I mean, not the idea, but you get to the point where you're like forgetting things constantly towards the end of your life. And that's what would happen if you experienced it backwards, right? You would, I mean, yeah. Because like you have all this knowledge and remember things when you die, or most people. You would like be born with all this knowledge. And then all of a sudden you just slowly forget things.
Mm.
Or were you thinking of it that way? Or were you thinking of it just being like big and then getting small?
I was thinking at the end, when you become a baby, do you get sucked back up the vagina? How does that work?
So, I mean, I guess that's a different burial method.
Well, I mean, if we're going backwards, you'd probably literally rise from your cremated ashes or the ground.
God, how would that be? Like, what if?
Like you just walk out of the dirt one day?
No,
Being
I mean,
92?
technically they would need to bury, or they would have to like bring you up first, right? Otherwise, what happens if you woke up in the dirt? Oh, that'd be
I
terrifying.
assume that you would. But then,
And what, ring a bell?
then what do? Like, you're getting smaller and smaller.
Well, yeah, but
You're like a week old. And then after 7 days, you're like right back up. Or like, what if it was a C-section? Like, I don't know. That's what I was thinking. What if we want to go like,
I mean, you came up with this. How are we going?
well, no, I'm just thinking like a more intellectual answer than you get sucked up in a vagina at the end.
I thought I had a very good.
I know, but it's my turn.
Yeah,
now.
you kind of had a shitty one.
I hadn't actually given it. That's just a thought that I had
Oh,
that came into my head as you were talking, because you talk a lot and then I end up not fully listening like
Yeah.
you are right now.
I wasn't talking.
And you weren't talking?
I wasn't. I was listening.
Okay. Anyway, if it went backwards,
Mhm.
I don't know. Because you couldn't pay me to go back to my younger years.
Well, sure, but
So, like, I guess in how people dread getting older, I could see people dreading getting younger. Because then you don't have autonomy over yourself anymore. Like you said, like, I mean, at some point you're going to be shitting your pants again.
Yeah, but I mean, even
Like, what if you start by shitting your pants because you're 92?
I mean,
And then at the end, you're shitting your pants again, but it's because you're a newborn. Like,
what? You're an old born.
dude, you know what? Okay. I
Would
know
they call
my
it an
brain
old
is
born?
going in some weird directions.
Sure.
But, so you're 92. Obviously, your parents are probably deceased. So as you're getting younger and younger, you're like, oh, it's mom. She's here. She's back. She's my mom. Like,
She's back. She was never here.
right, but you're going backwards.
Yeah.
So then you're like an adult with your mom. You're having kids with your mom there, so on and so forth. But then over time, you're breastfeeding from your mom. But you've been an adult with your mom. And like your significant other is also a baby.
I mean,
Weird, right?
I mean, the way it goes right now, your kids eventually wipe your ass. So
No, I would never put my kids through that. I would never put my kids through that.
Hmm.
I wouldn't expect them to do that. But wouldn't that be weird?
I mean, well, to us, yes, but if that was how life was, it would be normal.
Just a total mind fuck, you know? You could go, your mind can go in all sorts of directions with this. If you let it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go on to hot takes or hot cakes.
Okay.
All right. Roll the jingle. I still have Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni on here.
On the mind. It actually did pretty good for us last week. We got quite a few views.
Well, yes. But it seems like there's not been a lot of like groundbreaking news since we recorded last.
Yeah.
The only thing is Blake's team did file like an amendment. I think it's called an amendment, addendum. I don't know, something to her lawsuit. And they were teasing it by being like this big groundbreaking thing. And then they filed it like right before midnight last night.
Which was the deadline.
Yeah. So like waited till the very last minute. And there wasn't anything groundbreaking in it.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of stuff I already knew.
Pretty much. And then and I haven't watched a lot of creators about it, like talking about it. But it sounds like she dug in and took stuff from interviews and stuff he had done. Not necessarily things he had said to her, just things he had said in interviews and write-ups about him, like in magazines. And tried to use it against him. This guy is like, he's probably the most vanilla guy out there, Justin Baldoni.
Yeah.
I don't know. He would probably fart on a subway and feel horrible about it. Whereas like you and I would giggle and be like, oh my gosh. Obviously I don't know the guy in real life. That's just the impression that I get.
Yeah.
But Blake and Ryan showed up on the SNL.
Yeah, I saw that.
What'd you think of it?
I mean, you know, if I didn't know about the stuff going around, I would have thought it would have been kind of funny. But knowing what I know, yeah, it was kind of odd. And then to find out that from someone on the show that he actually had a different line.
Yeah, and he
kind of pushed to get it changed, and then went
so
with what they had. So
what happened was Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, I believe, on stage doing like the monologue thing, and Blake and Ryan were in the audience, and Ryan stands up and he's like, hey, like he's got a question, and then one of the two ladies is like, oh, hey, Ryan. They're like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. Why did you? What did you hear? And I will be honest in that I did giggle.
Yeah,
I did. And
well, that is
kind of humor is my thing.
Yeah, and honestly, that is him.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
But also, they're saying that that's what his hope was he's going to reel people in by seeing how they fell in love with him. And I get that because it was horrible. After my slight internal giggle, I was annoyed. I was annoyed that like you're going to show up in public after all of this going on in the press, and this is going to be like your first thing is making light of the situation. It's a really serious situation. There were a ton of celebrities there, obviously. But it did give me a little glimpse of the Ryan Reynolds that I've always loved, and my heart kind of yearned for it. Like,
come back.
But I can't. I can't be that person.
I still don't. I don't know how much he's actually involved in this.
Yeah, but that was not a good choice. And just like the Deadpool stuff, not smart.
That I agree with.
This is kind of like another Deadpool thing.
I don't.
Yeah, it was.
I don't quite.
It was.
I don't know about that.
It was.
But But when you actually kind of dissect what he said, it doesn't make kind of sense because he like stood up to say something, and then the only thing they said was, "Oh, what
Yeah.
did you hear something?" When he like initiated it. So even
Yeah,
the
was
bit,
there anything after that?
I don't think so. I mean I don't watch Saturday Night Live. So but if that was the bit, it didn't quite make sense because he, you know, raised his hand to stand up and say something, but then didn't. So you know, maybe the approach could have been a little bit better.
Oh, I just rubbed my nails.
Talking about an approach, completely different subject.
Oh, because I was going to go on a completely different subject too.
Yeah, no. How about the plane that flipped over a couple of days ago?
Everybody survived.
I
thankfully.
Did
Yeah,
you
that
see
video is insane.
Did you see videos of it?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, I don't
Where
even.
did that?
I said an approach, and I was thinking of approaching in.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know like what it like comes down, and
Yeah,
it's
it
like
seemed like it was landing just
yeah,
fine.
and as soon as it like hits the
it was
ground,
like, nope, just kidding.
it's just like we're gonna barrel roll.
Yeah.
Like, did the wing hit?
There was another
Did-
crash today too.
Yeah, it was two small planes collided or something.
Where? I just read it like
I
a little bit ago.
probably not correct, but I want to say Arizona.
I knew it would start with an A. That sounds very Dumb and Dumber-ish. Can I go to my side note from what we were talking about?
Yeah.
So you said you don't watch Saturday Night Live. I grew up watching Saturday Night Live. My parents watched it, and then I got into it. But I haven't so much as an adult. But I really want to watch the episode where Timothy Chalamet, the guy who plays Wonka in the newest version of Wonka, he does it. This dude's such a mystery to me. He is a very private person. He's actually dating Kylie Jenner, but they don't talk about the relationship. They're seen in public every once in a while, but like
It's surprising
it's
from
it's
a Jenner or-
nothing. Kardashian.
Kardashian. Yeah.
It's nothing like her other relationships or anything has been. This guy's just like a mystery, but he hosted SNL, and I see little snippets of his skits sometimes on TikTok. They're hilarious. They're hilarious. And like in his monologue, he's talking about how, you know, the great thing about an actor, you get invited to all these really nice award shows. He's like, I just can't win though. He hasn't won anything big. But he intrigues me and I want to watch his. I just haven't. But that was my little, you guys can probably hear Connor coughing back there. It's my little sidebar that I was thinking as you said you don't watch SNL.
I'm glad that you followed it up with that and not plane crashes.
Yeah, maybe in the next week I'll make it a priority to watch that one. And then next week we can talk about it. Would you like to watch it with me? Would you?
About that.
Would you like to?
Quit rubbing my arm. Tracker came on this last week. We haven't watched last week's episode.
And the Chicago shows are back this week.
Yeah.
Tonight. This night.
Yeah. Are you sure? Because I thought they were
No,
Thursday.
I Googled it today.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. Do you have anything more about Blake, Ryan, Justin?
Airplane crashes? Any?
SNL?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because, you know, it's their anniversary.
What? Oh, 50 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
I watched little bits of their 50-year thing. I didn't like little things on TikTok. I really didn't think they were funny.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I
didn't watch anything of it. I honestly thought it was kind of something they're doing all year, but I guess not. I guess it was just like this week.
They've had like the little logo thing 50 for the whole year. But yeah, I think this was like their 50th year show.
Was this past weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always liked Mad TV.
I didn't. I like Stewart. That's the only thing.
He look like a man.
That's not Stewart.
No, I know that's not Stewart, but
I can do
that was the lady that was always in like getting investigated or asked about things, and she's like, he looking like a man.
Speaking of looking like a man,
what up?
It's not you.
It's the zombie from the basement,
Also known as Casey.
Uncle Lord.
Casey, would you like to say hi to the cast?
No? Okay. Well,
Wow. Rude.
yeah. Well, anyway, that bit probably would have been canceled nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of comedy would have been. Even the old school SNL would have been canceled.
Like which ones? Like a dick in the box?
I mean, well, I don't know about that. But, I mean, it's been going 50 years.
Was he there this weekend?
Justin Timberlake?
I would have thought that's an iconic little bit with him and what's his face.
There's a lot of iconic little bits from SNL.
Well, yeah, but they bring it back all the time.
I saw this, another TikTok. I think Amy Poehler posted it. But it's like the picture of the old cast members when they started. And then it shines, or the camera pans over to them now here at the anniversary. Like Andy Samberg and all of them. It was pretty crazy. Just like how young they were.
Yeah.
When they started.
Well, they said something too that in the second season. SNL. Okay. SNL. They. That the second season something happened with Chevy Chase, like he quit or something like that. And I was like, wow, Chevy Chase still
in the second season.
Yeah, 49 years ago. Chevy Chase. I mean, I still watched him. I mean, a handful of years ago now on Community. So he's still around. He's not dead, and
he's not.
He was on.
I remember him from Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Was he on that one?
He was the mom's new boyfriend, and JTT did not like him. Also, side note about JTT, I recently saw a picture of him today.
Yeah. Oh, another. This is just really random. Who's the dude? Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, didn't he recently get the Hollywood Hall of Fame star that you have to pay for yourself or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I guess I don't know that. But he married
Asian.
Yeah, she was the hot chick from the TV show Dads. She was Yeah, it was only around for like one season, maybe two. But she was like the assistant, because the two.
What year would this show have been out?
I don't know, like 10 years ago. It started the same year Moms started, which was funny. Yeah. Anyway,
Like any celebrities in it that I would know?
Look it up real quick. You got your laptop right there.
I can't type.
But anyway, so yeah, she was like the assistant, and she was really
yeah. So this is the one that Vanessa Lachey, Nick Lachey's wife, was in, and the guy from Austin Powers. What's his real name? The ginger, Seth Green.
Yeah. Anyway, but the chick right there,
Veronica,
the hot one,
Brenda Song.
Yeah, he ended up marrying her.
I liked that show.
Yeah, it was a good show. I don't know. Yeah, that one, it got canceled after like a season or something.
Yeah,
but it was funny. But anyway, yeah, I was like, why does she look so familiar? And then it was talking about how they're like really, really different. And she like calms him down. And then it mentioned Dads. And I was like, oh yeah.
It seems like he's doing better now than he was in his
he had a lot
years.
of issues.
Yeah, a lot of child actors had a lot of issues. We going on another tangent?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we went to the hockey game this weekend, right? And you remember, so Valentine's weekend, and they were doing like they had like the kissing cam and all that stuff for Valentine's. And then there was this one chick where they were trying to like show different guys, and they were supposed to give like the thumbs up or thumbs down.
Like they were trying to hook her up with some other guy.
Yeah, it was like, like one of the dating apps where you like swipe left or swipe right. But she was the same, and they would change the guys. And I kept looking at her, and I was like, wow, this chick really looks familiar. Like, how do I know this person? And then like in the third period, I literally look over. She's sitting across the aisle.
Her out.
Yeah. I was like, wow, she looks familiar. And then it just clicked that she was the one that was the girl of that.
She wasn't a celebrity?
No, she wasn't a celebrity. She was
they
were on the Tron, and
I know. I just thought that when we were talking about celebrities and their
I was just how it was just weird, and like
she was sitting by
it was
local hockey game.
No, it was weird that I was just like, how do I know this person? And it was because I had seen her when we sat down, and then I had seen her again when they were doing the little thingamabobber on the Titantron, And I was like, couldn't put the two together. And then it finally clicked. Like, oh, the reason I've seen her is because she's literally sitting right next to me. Yeah.
You've had better stories than that.
I mean, I think most people would probably just like, that's kind of funny that you didn't realize she was sitting next to you the whole
It
time.
wasn't like next to you. It was like across the whole like stair.
Yeah,
thing.
the stairs. I mean, it wasn't like, yes, we
You
weren't like
rubbing elbows.
yeah, we
or
weren't like hitting kneecaps or nothing. You know, it was across.
Because you were snuggled up to Casey.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we can move on, I guess.
yeah, let's do that because I've been itching to do that. So jingle it.
Areas to ponder, choices to weigh. In what would you do? We'll lighten your day.
What would you do? What would you do?
What would you do?
If you woke up with the ability to read everyone's thoughts, but you couldn't turn it off?
Well,
so for me,
would I be married in this situation? This is important.
Reading people's thoughts?
Well, I would be able to read your thoughts then.
Yeah, you wouldn't want
And how the hell would I go to sleep with you sitting there thinking of random shit?
I do. I see it in a different light. I see it as problematic because I am an empath through and through. So if I know somebody is annoyed about something, I feel that. Or if somebody's stressed about something, like one of my friends, or you, God, anytime you're stressed about something, I'm stressed. And I don't even know what I'm stressed about. I just feel stressed because I know that you're stressed. If I could read everyone's thoughts and I knew, even without knowing the person, like, oh, they're thinking some stressful things right now.
Yeah, but that would also give you the ability to help.
And a creepy, okay. So some stranger just walks up to you on the street and you're like, I know that you're distressed because of what happened at home earlier today.
I hope to God you were better than that at approaching someone.
What was wrong with that?
For one, you're a psychopath.
So how would one
nobody
approach?
is going to be like, please let me help you.
That's in the movies. That's how all the old ladies do it. They're like, hey, dearie. How would you approach it?
One, you're not an old lady.
I'm getting there. But again, for the 12th time, how would you?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I watched the movie, but it's this happened in What a Woman Wants or something like that with Mel Gibson.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I mean, yeah. I think it'd be
mentally exhausting, emotionally exhausting.
I don't think so.
For myself, it would be.
I mean, you would learn how to. I mean, not shut it off, but you'd be able to learn to ignore it. It would just be like, I would assume, just like people talking. I do a pretty good job of ignoring people. So.
I think hearing people's real opinions of me would kill me. Not like I would kill me, but it would make my life considerably less enjoyable. I prefer that if people dislike me, they just keep it to themselves.
But then your like OCD kicks in and
then I'm like second guessing, like, dude,
and you're like,
should I back off? Should I back forward?
But they don't like me, so I really need to make them like me. But you see, if you could read their thoughts, then you would have shortcuts and easy answers on how to make them like you.
The Tourette's one. I'd be like, yeah, well, fuck you too. And they wouldn't have said anything. So they'll just be like looking at me like,
the first time you walk up to somebody and say something, and they'll be like, oh, she's so nice. And they're like, fucking bitch, thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. I could see that happening.
Like, you're a great person.
If you could, like, and I'm sure you know this, but if you could read my thoughts,
where are we going with this?
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
I have OCD. That's no secret.
I mean, is it like, you know, the whole like dog squirrel thing? Like,
no, that's ADHD.
Oh, you would associate that with ADHD?
See, so to try to like kind of get into the mind of an OCD person, you know how hopefully this happens in typically brained people. You'll have those like fleeting thoughts, just like, oh, I wonder what it would feel like if I got in a car accident.
Okay.
Casey's coughing like a fever.
I mean, like,
no, I'm not done. an OCD person will have that. And they'll either one think, because I thought that, it's going to happen. Like I have some kind of magical power where it's going to happen. Or I'm a horrible person for thinking that. How dare I think that? Why would I like want anything bad to happen? So then you'll like want to punish yourself for having these bad thoughts. It's this whole twisted, it's bad. So that's why when people are like, oh, I'm so OCD, I clean all the time. No, that's not OCD. But at another level to that, it doesn't go away. It just cycles.
So I think that probably is more of the OCD part. Like,
well, because when I said, I wonder what it would feel like being in a car accident, you kind of like.
No, I was thinking that there are many times where I'm like driving down the road and a car will be coming at me and I'll be like, yeah, you know how much power you have that you can just create an accident just by going whoop and head on? You don't do it, obviously. Like, I would bet you everybody has thoughts like that. Not that they're going to do anything.
Okay, I mean, I gave you a look, but I think just when you're driving, you're sometimes can realize that just can happen with anybody. Like somebody could literally just turn their head away and then pop you right in the side.
Yeah, but I mean, were you like physically or not physically, but you yourself are like, I could just go and there's an accident and it could kill a bunch of people and there it is.
So when you have those, do you then sit there and think about how you're a horrible person for having such thoughts?
I mean, I don't sit there and focus on it. I'm normally like, that was fucked up. And then that's it. Like,
yeah. So OCD is obviously obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
So you'll have these impulsive thoughts that come in, but then you obsess over them and why. And that's why medicine is great. Medication.
I mean, I don't like sit there and be like, man, I really want to just cause a car accident. Like, I don't sit there and like constantly like, man,
yeah, that's psychopath.
I gotta do that. I gotta do it to get it out of my mind. Like, that's not, I don't think most people have that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you know, you're just like walking across and you see somebody and you're like, man, I could kill them. And then you're just like, well, not going to today. And you keep going.
This took a turn.
No, I mean, it's
yeah.
See, that's the difference. Like, that's the difference though. Like,
yeah, I'm just
people
saying
have those thoughts. They just don't act on them because why would you?
Right.
But everybody has those types of thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if you could read my thoughts, you'd be like, one, how does she function? I think a lot of people would be like that, especially the times I've been off medication, like when I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I functioned during that. I don't know how you functioned because you were trying to help me function while you were functioning.
Maybe I could read your mind.
No, you could not. No, you couldn't.
When you're throwing up all that chicken and you're just like,
wow,
no, full chickens.
We're not talking about morning sickness.
Yeah, I don't know why I picked morning sickness out of there, but anyway.
Anyway, I'm just saying that I think where'd the meow come from?
Was that a cat? Anyway.
I think it would be exhausting for you to hear it into my brain, even my medicated brain. I think it would be exhausting.
Well, sure, but then you would also have you would have somebody who would be able to help you better too. Because then you could talk about those things when you're like, I'm an idiot for doing this. Why did I think of that? Why can't I stop? Blah, 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 blah. And then
yeah, maybe. Or maybe it would just be like, you'd be overwhelmed at everything going on in my head. And you'd be like, can you just shut your brain up, please? Or like, take good. Where's the cat? Is she in the basement?
She might be.
Go check.
Anyway. She's fine.
No. Hi, people. Jacob's checking on the cat. That's weird. Anyway, let's move on to Am I the Asshole?
Yeah. Who's the asshole?
So let's roll the...
Who is the asshole?
All right, so this one I think is a good one. I did not pick randomly. I'm just gonna be straight up with y'all.
All right.
We were in the South. I adopted
Y'all.
Yeah.
Me too. I say folks.
Please don't. And that's not a South thing. That's like a corporate life thing. Every corporate job I've been in, they've used folks. Like, stop.
Do you say folks?
Folks.
It sounded like you said folk.
Well, folk, yeah, because there's an L in there.
Yeah, but no one ever says it.
No, that's the accent talking. Like folk songs, folk music.
Yeah.
You don't have folk like rhyming with yolk, like egg yolk. Anyway.
It is how we say it, though.
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my friend to go to a food bank? I have a friend. Let's call her Sally. That's what it says right here.
Okay.
Who has been going through some tough times.
Mm-hmm.
Sally split from her boyfriend last year when she caught him cheating.
Ooh.
They had been together for over 2 decades. No ring. And he was very wealthy.
Smart man.
Shut up, please. Sally was a homemaker while they were not homemaker. Homemaker. Sometimes I blend that a little too not well.
Okay, so she stayed at home.
While they were together.
Mm-hmm.
And when they split, she was left with literally nothing. Stop with the sound effects. Just let me get through the reading.
I'm processing the thoughts.
Okay, process them silently.
Mm-hmm.
Move your microphone away. Nobody wants to hear you. Since the split, she has been relying on the kindness of friends to get by. She has mostly been staying with one friend in particular, but lots of her friends have been pitching in to help her meet her needs. Currently, she is attempting to support herself by trying to find work as a freelance artist, which she refers to as hustling. Most of the money she makes immediately goes back into art supplies. I live in a different state from her currently and am barely scraping by myself with a child to care for. Do not touch my cup. So I have not been able, you have your own water cup. So I have not been able to help her financially. Instead, I just try to be a sympathetic ear for her to vent to, and I've let her know that I don't mind her venting to me. It is also important to note that when she was with her ex, they would often help their friends make ends meet financially. She has helped me, and my family more than once. Yesterday, we were talking on the phone, and she mentioned that she couldn't afford food. She said that for the past few days, she's barely eaten anything, and she doesn't want to ask the friend she is staying with for food because she feels that friend is already doing too much. I mentioned that she should try looking into some local food banks in her area, and she became extremely offended. She said, you'd think that with all the people I've helped over the years, that I wouldn't have to turn to that. It's embarrassing. I told her that I wish I could help her myself, but that I only have $100 until next payday, and I have to put my child first. I offered to help her by doing some Googling for her about her options, but she insisted that taking food from a charity was embarrassing and unacceptable. I reminded her that everyone goes through difficult times, and it's not embarrassing to ask for help. I asked her if she looked down on her friends who had needed help over the years, and she said that she didn't, but that she just wasn't used to being the person in need. She then ended the call saying she needed to get back to work, and I get the feeling I offended her. So, am I the asshole? You think she is?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. So, for one, sorry about your luck, but it's time for you to get a job. I understand that you might not have made, or he had money and you used to not have to worry about that. Unfortunately, things change and now you do. Being an artist or a writer or anything like that, it's things that takes time. It takes time.
Oh, yes.
Anything like that takes time, you do in your free time after you get the necessities done. So the necessity is making money so you can eat. You're not doing that. So the freelancing stuff, It's not a gig. It's not your hustle. You need to go out and get a job. And she was absolutely right to tell her to go to a food bank. You know, just because she was previously in a position where she could help, she no longer is. And that does not mean that all of the people that she did help is in a situation that they can help. They clearly aren't. The one that's letting her live with her, she's doing what she can. Letting her live with her. But that doesn't mean that you're calling in favors. You help people because you have the ability. You're not doing it for a future favor.
So I was actually talking to my therapist about some of this, not like the specific thing, but more like the reason behind doing things to help others. Because I like helping other people when I can. And I don't do it for clout. I don't do it so they come back and they fawn over me and they're like, oh, you're so wonderful. I mean, a thank you is always appreciated, but I don't need people to go above and beyond. But I was telling about a situation where I helped somebody out and it wasn't because I wanted the praise. Like I'm not the person that will go and volunteer at a soup kitchen and take selfies to put on Facebook. Like that's not the reason that you do it. But one time I helped out a friend, and the next day they put this whole giant post on Facebook thanking somebody else for something they had done for her. And I felt like slighted about it. Like and so like I don't go into things expecting anything big, but it is nice to get that stuff reciprocated every once in a while, even if it's just a gesture. Hold on, I'm not done. Don't interrupt me. But what I was trying to say is that when she helped her friends out, she shouldn't have done it like banking things for the future. Well, I'm helping you now. In the future, I'm going to come back and try to get that. Or, well, I helped you. You need to help me. Remember, like you don't hold it against them. You don't do it. That's not the reason you go into helping others. And I fully agree that woman, she knows her boundaries. Like she has a kid. She has to put her kid first. She's $100. If she gave her friend money for food, like that's cutting into her providing for her kid. And lastly, well, maybe not lastly, but you were talking about you find something until like the freelancing can take off. Mm-hmm. And I was, that also came up in my therapy session because I was talking about how when I first quit my corporate job, I was trying to ramp up the writing and I would do all this random stuff just to bring in some money, including doing those audits that I did. And it came up because she pointed to the fake roses that were behind me on the screen. She's like, I always look at how beautiful those roses are. And I was like, yeah, they're fake. And she's like, well, that doesn't matter. She's like, I just keep thinking of like, you were probably given them and it made you so happy. And I was like, well, let me tell you the story behind that. And it was just that I went to do one of these audits and it was like a private investigator or something. I had to take pictures of where he stored all of his stuff and if it was secure. And his wife, when I walked in, I saw these roses, these fake roses in the entryway. I was like, oh, those are so pretty. She's like, do you want them? Do you not want them? She's like, I've had them for so long. I am more than ready to part with them. And I was like, well, I mean, if you don't want them, I'll definitely take them. And when I was done doing whatever and I got ready to leave, she had cleaned them off and like shined them up and sent them with me. And they're sitting in our bedroom. And they have been for years. That was almost 6 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. That was a lot that I just said there. But lastly, don't shit on food banks because the kids and I have been volunteering at one. If I were ever in a place where I needed assistance, I would not hesitate to go to a food bank. They get so much. And sometimes, depending on like the time of year and whatnot, a lot of it goes to waste. They would send my kids home with stuff that they had. And like, they sent me home with bouquets of flowers one time. They sent me with apples.
Yeah, I was going to say the apples.
Tons of apples from a local orchard. because they got so many and they only do produce distributions like once a week or something like that. So I think we came home with 3 giant bags.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I was like,
apples.
came home. I was like, why do we have so many apples in the freezer?
We still have gallon-sized, we have gallon-sized bags of cut up apples in the freezer. But don't shit on those things. Like a lot of the food you get too, Starbucks donates a lot of their stuff. There's cake pops, there's breakfast sandwiches, there's all this stuff. Like I wouldn't feel bad.
Oh, it's there for a reason.
Yeah. Same with like food stamps. Like obviously she hasn't paid into the system if she's been a homemaker, but she's been contributing to society. It's there for a reason, even if it's a short-term thing while she's finding a job.
Yeah. So, a few things. First of all, for you doing something for someone and then the next day seeing it on Facebook being appreciated, that's not the same as this. That's not you physically wanting something in return later on.
Right. I think I was just saying like
that's just someone being appreciated, and in this scenario you didn't feel appreciated where they went out of their way to do it for somebody else. That's not the same thing. But it's when you're in a situation like this, it is your job to do everything in your power to survive. And being an artist, not working outside of doing art things, that's not doing everything you can. You're not trying. You're attempting to have other people provide for you. You're not trying to do anything. And the thing that's would be most frustrating is if you were with them in their conversations, they would sit and act like they're working so hard, they're trying so hard to make money, and they're doing all this stuff. And the reality is they're not. They may be spending all this time in an art studio trying to do something, but there is no return on that yet.
So it says that she split from her boyfriend last year. Last year could have been like this summer. We're currently in February, so it might be really fresh. I imagine after 2 decades with this dude and going from having everything to having nothing, that'd be a shock to the system. And that would be hard to overcome. She's probably needing, the art is probably like a mental health outlet for her. It's a form of therapy for her, but she can't support herself. She's gotta.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
you gotta go work at Costco during the day and do your art.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't do art. I'm saying art's not cutting it by itself. Mm-hmm. That is something you do in your free time. I like video games. I'm not going to quit my job to go stream,
right?
And have 2 people watch me, if that. One of them being myself. It's just not, and then depend on other people to pay my bills. Like that's not what you do. If I wanted to play games and be a streamer, I work during the day and I do those things when I'm not working a regular job until that works. Or even podcasting like this, right? Yeah. I'm not quitting. We ain't that successful at podcasting.
We don't even have sponsors. No. Remember when we were going to sponsor ourselves, make a commercial for ourselves?
Yeah, just joking around. Yeah. I'm sure we could find some small little place, maybe.
Okay. Well, if you're a small little place and you maybe want to sponsor us, reach out on Facebook. I might not see the message.
Yeah, we do call outs.
We what?
We do call outs.
Kim from Constantine.
Kim from Constantine.
Oh, speaking of Kim from Constantine.
Oh.
She posted a picture of her dog on Facebook today, and it was a whole thing about her KitchenAid mixer. And
so why was her dog in
it? Just follow it. Okay. So then she said the dog was there because normally she only uses her KitchenAid mixer for grating cheese. And I was like, what? Like, okay, how? Do tell. And there's an attachment. And I was just telling you how I need a quality cheese grater. I was just telling you this.
Oh, man, Facebook just
And
Throw
then
the ads
Kim
for
from
anything, don't they?
Constantine is talking about turning her KitchenAid into a cheese grater. And I was like, please drop that link. She dropped that link. And
Is it a ridiculous amount for
no,
this accessory?
it's under $30.
Oh shit, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grade it up.
So it was like fate because I had just talked to you about it, about how I needed quality.
Yeah, you were. And you were looking, and I was, and I was like, don't we have one? And you're like, yeah, we have like
It's called a mandolin.
Yeah, whatever that is.
And it's
and that
not,
scares you
it's
every
not
time.
quality.
And it scares you.
Well, it does because I had that one from Pampered Chef that like really chopped my skin up. Like that was bad. And I didn't use it after that. I got rid of it. It was a danger to me. And I was a danger to it.
Most things are.
Anyway, let's TLDR it.
Yeah, TLDR.
If anybody's interested, my
Yeah, I can breathe now.
my nail polish was Never Basic by Essie.
Yep.
I got it on a palette.
Oh, yeah. So she couldn't tell you where to buy it at because we got it on a
I'm
pallet.
pretty sure most places like Target and everything carry Essie. So
Target. Not a sponsor.
TLDR us.
TLDR is a way to be short and snappy, so carefree. In a hurry, don't need to stress. With TLDR, you'll feel your best.
So we started talking about our day, and it's going okay-ish. And then what was our first topic
I
about?
forgot.
Crap. See, why do I do this?
Time backwards.
Time backwards. Yeah. What if you were old first and then young?
I've never
older.
watched it, but is that what Benjamin Button is?
No, I think he
The
just.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
No, he like ages really fast.
No, I thought it was opposite.
Maybe. I don't know. You have the power of the internet in front of your hand.
I don't want to.
And then after that, we jump back into the Blake Lively, Beldoni, Reynolds situation.
Whole SNL thing.
SNL and an amendment to the lawsuit.
Yeah, that was kind of
Still up in the air. We don't
deflating.
know. Yeah, it was disappointing. And then we talked about plane crashes and
and also
other things.
that whole thing doesn't even go to trial until 2026.
Really?
Yeah, we have a whole year.
A whole year to figure it
that
out.
we're gonna be in limbo.
Son of a bitch.
And you remember how big the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard
Johnny
case
Heard.
was.
Yep.
I was listening to that in the chiropractor office. Yeah, this is gonna be big.
Chiropractor win.
Well, it was during the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, but like they were giving the verdict at the end, and I wanted to listen to it. My appointment was
gotcha.
right there. You
Oh,
were
I
with
see what
me.
you're saying. I thought you were.
And like I
definitely-
propped my phone up and like I was just gonna listen while she was adjusting, and then she looked at the phone and looked at me, and she's like, "You can't turn that off."
She didn't care. All right. Well, and then after some back and forth on some random thoughts, we went into what would you do if you couldn't shut off everyone else's thoughts that you could now hear. I don't think it's a problem.
I
ignore pretty well. Kristen thinks it would be annoying.
Yeah.
Also because she has OCD, she wouldn't be able to not only shut her own thoughts off, she won't be able to shut anyone else's off.
But I have to double my meds.
I don't think that's how that works. What if they created a drug that blocked you from thinking your own thoughts?
Jacob, the last thing that we did today was, am I the asshole?
I mean, it would work for you, right? Because then you wouldn't
No,
hear
then
yourself.
I wouldn't think at all. There is a level of safety that comes from having those thoughts.
Well, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I mean? And then finally, was the lady an asshole for telling her friend to go to a food bank and suck it up and quit being an artist?
No, she never told her something.
I said that. Well, I didn't really say that, but be an artist part-time. Yeah, she wasn't an asshole. I think we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah.
And then
And don't shit on food banks.
yeah, don't shit on food banks. We got 3,000
We have a
gallons
lot
of apples.
Frozen apples. in
We
the freezer
still
right
do.
now. Mhm.
Maybe we'll show them next time. Probably not. But yeah, that's where we're at, and that's where we are. Yep.
That's where we're at, and that's where we are.
What I said.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're done here.
Yeah.
So ladies and
there
gentlemen-
was a little skerfluffle with Casey.
Yeah.
Showing up here in the middle and not even saying hi.
Yeah. Or bye. Doesn't matter. And then the cat.
Yeah,
Now,
we gotta find the cat.
I don't know where the cat is.
She stopped me out. It's totally not dead.
She's not downstairs unless our cat got in a fight with his cat.
No, then there would have been like that kind of noise.
What if it was like a stealth cat?
No.
And
Okay.
it just like
Anyway, let's wrap this up.
all right. Well,
Peace out, Girl Scout.
next week.
When love gets tricky and you're feeling unsure, tune in for advice. We've got the cure. Scenarios upon